Good morning everyone, my name is Michelle, I hope you're doing well. Welcome to another video. It is Saturday the 20th of July. I didn't talk about the Jay Slater case yesterday. Instead, I went back to find some updates on the missing teenager from Tennessee, Sebastian Rogers. So go and check out that live stream if you didn't see it and you're following Sebastian's case. I know a lot of people are not getting notified for videos and live streams. I don't know why. I really don't know why. YouTube is broken, that's all I can say. One way that you might be able to rectify it, at least for a short while, is by clicking your notifications off for this channel, if you've got them on, and then re-clicking. So basically turn it off and turn it back on again. I've been told that works, so give it a try if you want to get notified for my videos and live streams. Alright, so Jay Slater was found and his body is going to be brought back to the UK. There's still a lot of unanswered questions in people's minds, and I've got those same questions. Why did he go to Masca? Why did he want to leave almost immediately as he got there? Why did he not wait for the bus? And why did he go off-road and wander down a ravine? We don't know, and there's probably going to be those unanswered questions forever. We probably never know the answer to those things because the only person who could tell us is Jay. A lot of people have asked me, Michelle, did they find the watch? You know, the watch, the Rolex, and more accurately, the AP that Jay told his friends that he stole. Was that the reason why he had to leave and go to Masca? Because the person he stole the watch off was mad? Do we even know he stole a watch? That's another unanswered question. The cops are not going to give us that answer. Police have declined to confirm if the watch was recovered, like with his body, stating that all the information they wish to disclose is already in the public domain. They assured that further updates will be given when necessary and appropriate. So that's all we're going to get on the stolen watch, if indeed there was a stolen watch. But it's understandable that we've got questions. Whenever anybody dies and is found in unusual circumstances, as I talked about the other day, it's human nature, it's natural for us to have questions. In psychology, it's called attribution theory. Sudden, unusual, traumatic events inspire us, compel us to try to find the causes of those events. It's just part of the human condition. And it's a survival mechanism. It helps us think about ways that we'd prevent a similar fate happening to us. And of course, his family are going to have all the same questions. If you've got questions and I've got questions, imagine how they feel. And one of those unanswered questions for Jay's family, as is being reported in the media, is the exact location where he was found. Now, it's perfectly normal when someone is found deceased. A lot of people want to go and visit that scene. Some don't. In fact, many don't. They don't want to go there. It's too painful. But some do. They want to understand. And I was one of those people. When my 21-year-old son was killed by a dangerous driver in 2014, it's almost 10 years since that happened to Reese. As soon as the police reopened the road, I was there, walking up and down that road. I wanted to understand what had happened. And the police told me a lot during the investigation. I had a very close relationship with the family liaison officers, but there were things that they couldn't say because it was all part of the investigation. And there were some things that I only found out 13 months later when the guy who did it was sentenced. He pled guilty, and there was stuff that came out of the sentencing hearing that the police couldn't tell me. It's horrible. It's all part of understanding how investigations work. I think it's even harder when someone dies in a foreign country where the practices of the police are different, where there's language barriers, where, you know, the family are just like fish out of water. And definitely the Spanish police react very differently than the British police seem to. They've been likened to how the cops behave on the show Life on Mars, and I guess I have to agree with that. But it's just a different way of working. They don't have family liaison officers. Yeah, it's horrible. But the Dutch search team, if you remember from the video, if you happened to catch it before I privated it, I put a video out on the day that Jay's body was found saying great news about the Jay Slater investigation, because a Dutch specialist search team had arrived on Tenerife and were going to search for Jay, and they were paid for like the flights and accommodation and such with the GoFundMe money. Well, it turns out that that Dutch search team, who, you know, you kind of think, well, they flew there in vain because, you know, that day when they arrived, it came out that Jay's body had been found. But they've actually stayed there this week. They've been assisting the family. So I'm reading this from Birmingham Live, but there's a few papers that have picked up on this. So I'm going to read sections from this. A private search team have been deployed in Tenerife to find the exact spot Jay Slater's body was found. It's believed the teen's devastated family are looking for answers after Spain's Guardia Civil refused to disclose the information. And I suspect the Guardia Civil don't want to tell people where the exact location was. And this is just my speculation, because it's so precarious, it's so dangerous. They don't want the family or anyone else going there, you know, to lay flowers on the exact spot, because it's so dangerous. They don't want other people going missing and having to rescue other people from that location. But police have not publicly revealed the exact location where Jay's body was found. But the Sun reports that his family have now sent the Dutch search crew into the ravine to find out. So the Sun reports that volunteers from Signy Zoekhonden, a group often deployed in the aftermath of natural disasters, flew to Tenerife on Sunday evening. Despite Jay's body being discovered the following morning, they have remained in Tenerife and are walking in the blistering heat with a sniffer dog in a desolate ravine. A source claimed they have returned on behalf of the family so they could fully understand the geography of where Jay's body was found. Debbie, Jay's mother, praised the team earlier today and said the wonderful team, Signy Zoekhonden, have remained in Spain all week and have continued to support us since Jay was found. They are due to fly home in the coming days, and we are so appreciative of their dedication and support. Esther van Neerbos, who leads the group, said the dog had indicated a difficult and dangerous spot in the ravine. She said she'd urged the family not to lay flowers where Jay was found as it was too dangerous, adding, the place he was found is a very dry, small valley, very difficult to get into. But there have been people laying flowers and messages to Jay close to the ravine. So as close as it's safe to do so. And I think that's a good compromise. It's very, very sad. Likely, though, that Jay's family will get some answers in the coming months, because it's being stated that the inquest into Jay's death will actually be held in the UK. Once Jay's body is brought back to the UK, an inquest will be opened here. So this is from the Manchester Evening News. An inquest is likely to be held in the UK following the death of Jay Slater. While authorities in Tenerife will likely hold their own process, an inquest led by a coroner is still expected to be held once he is brought back home. A coroner in Jay's native Lancashire, based in Preston, will be tasked with conducting the hearing. Lancs Live reported that inquests in Lancashire are held in one of several locations, usually closest to where the person lived, such as Accrington or Preston Coroner's Court. The coroner in Lancashire will be informed of a body in the jurisdiction when Jay is brought home from Tenerife, as was the case with Andrew Ed Walsh from Preston, who died in the Canary Islands back in 2021. Ed's body was repatriated back to Lancashire by his family, and an inquest was subsequently held in May of this year. A coronial investigation into Ed's death was hampered by delays in obtaining information from the authorities in Tenerife. The inquest in May heard that Ed, 31, had been stabbed to death by fellow expat Jimmy Nicol. So presumably the criminal investigation into that would be in Spain, I'm guessing, because it's out of the jurisdiction of the British cops. I don't know. I need to look into that. So in Ed's case, obviously it was foul play. It was a murder, stabbed to death. But in Jay's case, it's very likely it's just a tragic accident. Yes, with lots of unanswered questions, but still, it's a tragic accident. However, Jay, for whatever reason, he went to Masca, for whatever reason he chose not to wait for the bus, for whatever reason he chose to go off-road, known only to Jay, we have to conclude, if he was on his own, that it was just a tragic accident. And he was completely out of his depth in an environment that was completely alien to him. He thought he could get to the coast easily and then just walk back to his accommodation. That's the theory that I've gone with. It's a theory that others, including Christopher Tenerife, the TikToker, has gone with, because it just seems logical and obvious. It's Occam's razor. You know, look from the top of the hillside and look in the direction of the coast, and it just looks like the sea's right there, when it actually isn't. It really isn't. And Jay found that out to his peril. Sometimes people just succumb to the environment in places that are alien to them, in places where they're not used to that terrain or not used to the heat. Recently, we had the British Dr Michael Mosley. It took several days to find him, and he was very close to civilization. He was actually only probably a few hundred feet away from safety, and it appears that he just collapsed and died. And there's been another case of that just this week. Actually, this has been reported today by the Daily Mirror. This is breaking news right now. British tourist dies while swimming off a Greek island in intense heat. While swimming at a beach on the Greek island of Skiathos, after she lost consciousness due to intense heat. The 66-year-old died shortly after the incident on Friday, so yesterday, as I record this. She was given CPR and taken to Skiathos Health Centre, 7 minutes away from the beach. So assistance was rendered very, very quickly, but medics were unable to save her life. CNN Greece reported she lost consciousness in the water before being found by a lifeguard, and said her condition was likely due to intense heat in the area. Skiathos reached a daytime high of 33 degrees C yesterday, and an excessive heat warning has been issued by the National Meteorological Service in Greece due to several days of high temperatures. She's now going to be transported to the coastal city of Volos for an autopsy, according to local media. So for whatever reason, that woman, whose name hasn't been released, I don't think, it's just yet another warning for people travelling to places where they're not used to, where their body's not used to it. Us Brits live in a very temperate climate. We're not good with heat. If you've got an underlying medical condition as well, or it's an age-related thing, you're going to succumb quicker. Maybe that's what Dr Michael Mosley found as well. Finally, Ben Needham's mother has spoken about Jay Slater's family, as is being alleged by the Daily Mirror. And she said, at least they know. And that is very true. At least Jay's family know where he is. There are so many people who go missing who were never found. One of those people is the mother of little toddler Ben Needham. Now, if you're in the UK, you may remember this case. This is now 33 years ago, days before social media. If Ben had gone missing in this day and age, you know, the days of social media, his family would have been dragged through the absolute ringer. Little Ben went missing 33 years ago, 21 months old, on the Greek island of Kos. I remember this being all over the news when it happened. So the mum of Ben Needham, who went missing in 1991, is awaiting DNA results from a Danish man claiming to be her son. Wednesday, July 24th, marks the 33rd anniversary. Now mum Carrie has to wait to see if a stranger could be Ben for the third time this year. The toddler was last seen playing outside a derelict farmhouse on the island. His parents have searched the globe looking for their boy. There's been so many alleged sightings, so much controversy. Now, I haven't followed this case very closely, I must admit, but there's so many alleged sightings, and his parents have just kind of followed these sightings all over the world. But now a Danish man claims his grandparents told him that he was taken from Kos, and insisting his parents have refused to deny these claims. The man says he was hidden for years and remembers 25 years ago going to a market and someone shouting Ben at him. He claims he was then kept in a caravan. But Carrie, 51, from Sheffield in Yorkshire, says she can never get her hopes up, having been in this position multiple times. She told the Mirror, "This man is looking for his real family, and he has given Danish police a sample of his DNA, while South Yorkshire police are trying to get Interpol to do a comparison of that DNA with Ben's. The stranger's DNA sample will be compared with a blood sample taken from when Ben was born at Boston Hospital in Lancashire for the routine Guthrie heel prick test." She said, "In 33 years, we've had hundreds of alleged sightings. The majority of them we've followed up ourselves in the earlier years. We've had DNA taken from people in Greece, Turkey, Germany, and one in Florida, and even Australia. But at least South Yorkshire police are trying to get me answers, and I can't praise them enough. The Force's theory is that Ben may have died in a digger accident after a witness came forward, but blood discovered at the scene in 2016 was found not to belong to Ben, and the witness is now refusing to talk. I can't believe it's been 33 years, and in October he will be 35. My mum's 72, my dad is 76. I don't want something to happen to my parents without them knowing." Carrie also said that she feels the pain of Jay Slater's family and warns trolls of the further damage they are causing, because they're still out there. The trolls are still doing what trolls do. After watching on as they followed in her footsteps, Carrie told how her heart is completely with them. She added, "All I can say to give them a little comfort is that it's better to know, because living year by year not knowing is torture. I feel their pain." And that couldn't be said more eloquently, in my opinion. Grief is a terrible thing, but it's corny, but time is a great healer. And Jay's family, they're tough. They'll get through this, I believe. But just leave them alone, please. Alright guys, let me know your thoughts about all of this in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.